The trailer for Heartland Season 19, Episode 1, just dropped, and it already feels like the past is clawing its way back into the present. Ty may be gone, but his absence still shapes every choice, every fear, and every moment on the ranch. And now, for the very first time, we see Lindy finding the courage to speak out about what has been haunting her heart. She misses her father, and she's terrified that Amy might let his memory slip away forever. It's not just grief, it's not just loss, it's the brutal reality of trying to move forward while the past refuses to let go. From the very first second of this trailer, one thing becomes painfully clear. Ty's presence still lingers over Heartland like a ghost that nobody can escape. Even though he's been gone for years, his name, his memory, and his love are stitched into every corner of that ranch. And Lindy, who never had the chance to truly grow up with him, is now old enough to understand what's missing. The trailer hints at this raw, heartbreaking truth when Lindy finally voices the fear that has been building inside her, that Amy's growing closeness with Nathan might erase Ty's place in their lives. Imagine the weight of that thought on such a young heart. She isn't just missing her father, she's afraid of losing the one thing that keeps him alive, Amy's love for him. But this pain doesn't just belong to Lindy. Amy is living through it too, silently battling the impossible. On one hand, she knows she deserves a chance at happiness, a chance to love again with Nathan, a man who has proven again and again that he cares for her, and yet, every time she takes a step forward, it feels like a betrayal of the love she shared with Ty. That's why the trailer doesn't just tease romance or family drama, it shows us the cracks forming in Amy's soul as she struggles to hold on to the past while reaching for the future. And the cruelest part of all? Her daughter can see it. Lindy feels the hesitation, she senses the fear, and it terrifies her that opening the door to Nathan might mean shutting Ty out forever. This is the kind of emotional conflict that Heartland thrives on, the tension between love and loss, hope and heartbreak. And in this new season, it looks like Lindy will be the one to bring these buried feelings into the open. Her honesty cuts sharper than anything else could. Because if a child is the one questioning whether Ty will be forgotten, then Amy is forced to confront her choices in a way she's been avoiding for years. That's what makes this storyline so powerful. It's not just Amy's grief anymore. It's Lindy's fear, Lindy's longing, Lindy's desperate hope that her family won't leave Ty behind. And no matter how Amy tries to comfort her daughter, we know deep down that Amy herself is not sure she has the answer. The trailer doesn't just put the spotlight on Amy and Lindy's struggle, it throws Nathan into the middle of the storm too. What's striking is that Nathan knows he can never replace Ty, and that truth is eating away at him from the inside. He loves Amy. He wants to be there for her, but every glance, every silence, every memory of Ty is a reminder that he's living in another man's shadow. The trailer shows his breaking point when he snaps at Caleb, throwing words that cut deep, reminding Caleb that even he could never live up to Ty. That single outburst reveals everything we need to know about Nathan's state of mind. He isn't just fighting for Amy's heart, he's fighting his own self-doubt, his own fear that no matter what he does, he will always be compared to the man who came before him. And that's the tragedy of Nathan's journey. He can give Amy his loyalty, his care, and his strength, but he can never erase the ghost of Ty. For Amy, this means she's walking an impossible path. Every moment with Nathan feels both like a step toward healing and a step away from the man she still loves. Her heart is divided in two, and the trailer makes us see how much this division is tearing her apart. It's not that she doesn't care for Nathan, she does. But her grief for Ty is not something that can simply be set aside. It's a wound that time has failed to heal, and now Lindy's fears make that wound impossible to ignore. Amy wants to reassure her daughter that Ty will always remain a part of their lives, but she doesn't even know if that's true. Because with Nathan by her side, every choice she makes feels like a betrayal, and yet without him, she risks shutting herself away from the chance of happiness forever. The danger here isn't just emotional, it's deeply personal. Lindy's fear of being forgotten mirrors Amy's fear of letting go. And when both mother and daughter are trapped in the same grief, It's only a matter of time before the weight of that grief cracks their bond. That's where the suspense lies. Will Amy be able to convince Lindy that love doesn't erase memory? Or will Lindy's words force Amy to pull back from Nathan, choosing the past over the future? The trailer doesn't give us answers, but it gives us something even more powerful. It gives us tension. It sets the stage for a season where every choice has consequences, where every silence speaks louder than words, and where the shadow of Ty refuses to let any of them breathe. As much as the trailer focuses on Amy, Lindy, and Nathan, there's another storm brewing in the background, and it comes in the form of Nathan's sister. For months, she has been nothing more than a shadow, a presence mentioned, but never fully unleashed. But now, in this new season, she steps into the light, and her arrival threatens to undo everything Amy and Nathan have been trying to build. Unlike Nathan, who struggles between love and loyalty, his sister is shown as someone who thrives on control. From the very first glance we get of her, she doesn't look like someone who is here to reconcile or support. She looks like someone who is here to stake a claim. And that claim could very well stretch across both Nathan's family ranch and Heartland itself. What makes her dangerous isn't just her personality, it's her history. The trailer reminds us that she once had close ties to Amy's own mother, which means her presence is not just an external threat. She's not an outsider barging in. She's connected, intertwined with the very fabric of Heartland's past, and that makes her far harder to push away. When she walks into this world, she doesn't just bring herself, she brings secrets, memories, and unfinished stories that blur the lines between family and enemy. That's the kind of conflict that cuts deep, because it's not about strangers fighting for land or power. It's about people who share history, people who know exactly which wounds to press. The trailer makes it clear that she is not here to play nice. While Nathan is torn between his love for Amy and his duty to his family, his sister seems determined to drag him back to his bloodline, to remind him of his roots, that loyalty to family comes first. This is the wedge that could split Amy and Nathan apart. Because while Amy is desperately trying to move forward, to find balance, Nathan's sister forces him to look backward, to question his choices, and to consider whether being with Amy means betraying the very people he was born to protect. And deep down, Nathan knows this is true. His sister isn't just stirring drama, she's attacking the foundation of who he is. She is making him choose. But what happens when love and family collide? That is the question the trailer leaves us asking, and it's a question Heartland has always excelled at exploring. For Amy, this isn't just about her relationship with Nathan anymore. It's about her home, her family's ranch, and the people she has fought her whole life to protect. If Nathan's sister comes to Heartland with the intention of taking control, then Amy will not sit quietly and watch. And this is where Lou enters the battlefield. The trailer shows her ready, determined, and unwilling to let anyone, even Nathan's sister, walk over their family's legacy. Lou has always been the protector of Heartland, sometimes to her own detriment, and here she is once again, standing firm. Yet this time the stakes are different. Lou knows that by fighting Nathan's sister, she risks destroying Amy's fragile happiness. She knows that every move she makes against this woman will come back to Amy, and it could cost Amy her relationship with Nathan. But Lou has never been one to back down. The ranch has always come first in her heart, and that's the painful truth Amy will have to face. Can she ask Lou to stay silent for the sake of her love life? Or will Lou push forward, no matter the cost, to ensure that Heartland remains untouchable? The trailer teases this with tension-filled exchanges, moments where Lou looks ready to go to war, even if it means tearing the family apart. This clash sets up a storyline that is not just about love, but about survival. Nathan is torn between two worlds, Amy is trapped between her past and her future, Lindy is fighting to keep Ty's memory alive, and Lou is preparing to battle anyone who threatens the ranch. And in the middle of it all is Nathan's sister, a character who may very well hold the power to destroy everything. That's why her return isn't just a subplot, it's a turning point. She isn't just a challenge to Nathan. She is a mirror held up to Amy, showing her what it really means to fight for family. And if Amy thought grief was hard to face, She's about to learn that betrayal, manipulation, and loyalty tests are even harder. The suspense of all this is overwhelming because the trailer doesn't give us solutions. It only shows us the fractures, the cracks in Amy and Nathan's bond, the fear in Lindy's voice, the fury in Lou's eyes, and the cold determination in Nathan's sister. It sets the stage for a season where every single character is pushed to their limits. It makes us ask, can love survive when the past won't die? Can families stay united when old ghosts return to claim their place? And most of all, can Amy truly find peace, or is she destined to live in a world where Ty's absence will always dictate her choices? These are not simple questions, and the fact that Heartland dares to ask them is what makes this season already feel so powerful. The more we look at the trailer, the more it becomes clear that Lou is stepping into one of her most challenging roles yet. For years, she has been the one to protect Heartland, not just the land itself, but everything it represents. To her, Heartland is not just a ranch. It is a symbol of legacy, sacrifice, and family identity. It's the ground their ancestors fought for, the soil that carries their memories, and the place where every triumph and every heartbreak has taken root. And Lou has always believed that nothing, not even love, comes before that legacy. But in Season 19, this belief threatens to tear everything apart. Because while Amy is trying to balance her heart between Ty's memory and Nathan's presence, Lou is preparing to go to war against Nathan's sister, a woman who has already made it clear that compromise is not in her vocabulary. The trailer shows Lou with fire in her eyes, ready to protect Heartland at any cost. She isn't naive. She knows that her choices could break Amy's fragile relationship with Nathan. She knows that if she pushes too hard against Nathan's sister, it will inevitably fall back on Amy, forcing her to take sides. But Lou is not someone who steps back when the ranch is at risk. She has made sacrifices before, and she is willing to make them again. What makes this so tense, though, is the fact that Lou's determination is not met with gratitude this time. It is met with resistance. Amy doesn't want to fight. She doesn't want another battle. She wants peace. She wants a chance to move forward with Nathan. But Lou's loyalty to the ranch leaves no space for peace. To her, letting Nathan's sister in, even for a moment, means opening the door to chaos. And chaos is something Heartland has survived too much of already. This creates a devastating collision between the two sisters. On one side, Amy is pulled toward her personal happiness, trying to convince herself that she can hold on to Ty's memory while still loving Nathan. On the other side, Lou refuses to let anything or anyone jeopardize the ranch, even if it costs Amy her chance at happiness. And this isn't a simple disagreement. This is the kind of clash that could fracture their bond as sisters. Because when you strip it all down, Lou is essentially telling Amy that her love life does not matter as much as the ranch. And for Amy, who has sacrificed more than anyone, that statement cuts deeper than anyone could imagine. Meanwhile, Nathan finds himself standing in the middle of this battle, and the trailer makes it painfully clear that the weight is breaking him down. He loves Amy. He wants to be there for her and Lindy, but his loyalty to his family keeps pulling him in the opposite direction. And now, with his sister's return, that loyalty is not just a quiet pressure. It is a loud demand. His sister represents everything he has tried to escape, everything he has tried to move beyond. And yet, blood ties are not so easily severed. The trailer shows glimpses of Nathan caught between two fires, the woman he loves and the family he cannot abandon. It's the kind of dilemma that no man can truly win. If he sides with Amy, he risks turning his back on his own bloodline. But if he stands with his sister, he risks losing the one woman who finally made him feel like he belonged. The brilliance of this setup is that it doesn't just put Amy and Nathan's love to the test, it puts their very identities on trial. Amy must decide if she can truly let another man into her heart without erasing the love she shared with Ty. Nathan must decide if he can break free from the expectations of his family to create something new with Amy. And Lou must decide if her loyalty to Heartland is worth the cost of her sister's happiness. Every character is being forced to choose between two impossible paths, and every choice has a price. What makes it even more powerful is how Lindy's voice cuts through all of this. She is not a side character in this struggle, she is the heart of it. While the adults are fighting over loyalty, land, and legacy, Lindy is the one who reminds us what this is all really about: love, memory, and family. Her fear of losing Ty's memory forces Amy to pause, to consider what her relationship with Nathan really means. Because it isn't just about her anymore. It's about her daughter. And Lindy's words carry a weight that no argument from Lou or Nathan's sister ever could. They are pure, innocent, and devastatingly true. If Amy cannot reassure her daughter that Ty will never be forgotten, then no relationship she builds will ever feel complete. The trailer cleverly sets up this tension without giving away the answers. We see Amy and Nathan in moments of closeness, wrapped in each other's arms, suggesting that no matter how many obstacles they face, they will always find their way back to one another. But those brief moments of tenderness are overshadowed by the storm surrounding them: the fights with Lou, the manipulations of Nathan's sister, and the unshakable shadow of Ty. It leaves us wondering, are Amy and Nathan strong enough to withstand the weight of all this? Or will the cracks in their relationship finally shatter under the pressure? This is where Heartland proves once again why it has survived for nearly 2 decades. It's not about simple love stories or happy endings. It's about real struggles, raw emotions, and the brutal truth that family, love, and loss are never easy to balance. Season 19 promises to deliver all of that in its very first episode, pulling us back into a world where every character is tested, every bond is threatened, and every choice matters. The most haunting part of the trailer, the part that lingers in your mind long after it ends, is the way it leaves us with more questions than answers. We see Amy and Nathan holding on to each other as if the world is trying to tear them apart, but that image isn't comforting. It's frightening. Because if two people need to cling that tightly, it means they know something is coming that could break them. And this is what Heartland has always done best. It doesn't give us neat resolutions. It doesn't hand us simple love stories wrapped in a bow. Instead, it forces us to feel the weight of uncertainty, to step into the shoes of its characters and ask ourselves, what would we do if we were them? Would we hold on to love even if it risked betraying the past? Or would we protect the past, even if it meant walking away from happiness? For Amy, the challenge has never been clearer. She has to face the fact that her daughter is growing up, and with that growth comes questions and fears that cannot be ignored. Lindy is no longer a little girl who can be shielded from the truth. She sees the world clearly now, and her voice is powerful enough to shake Amy's decisions to their core. If Lindy believes Ty is being left behind, then Amy cannot simply brush that aside. She has to prove that Ty's memory is not a burden, but a legacy. And yet, how does she do that while opening her heart to Nathan? That is the heartbreaking balance she must learn to strike. And if she fails, she risks not only her own happiness, but the trust of her daughter, the one bond she cannot afford to lose. Nathan, on the other hand, is standing at the edge of a cliff. Every step he takes toward Amy feels like defiance against his family, and every step he takes toward his family feels like a betrayal of Amy. The trailer shows us glimpses of his breaking point, his frustration with Caleb, his tension with Amy, and the heavy silence when his sister pushes her way back into his life. Nathan is a man at war with himself, and the truth is, men at war with themselves rarely come out whole. The question that hangs over him is simple, yet devastating. Will his love for Amy be strong enough to outweigh the blood ties that are pulling him apart? And if it isn't, then what future do they truly have?